Hey there. This week I wrote a blog about the first Monday after job loss, and I got a great question from Dennis about it's weeks later, it's not the first Monday, and I'm still feeling really bad about what happened and what do I do? So first off, I just want to say I'm so sorry about your job loss, Dennis. It's obviously not a fun situation. And I also want to say that you're grieving because frequently it's not just about the job loss, but what the job represents for you as well. And so one of the paths forward, and this is something that I've written about before, is trying to slow things down to an excruciating pace so that you can take a look at the meaning that you have created around this job loss. So, for example, I have a friend who was downsized from three different companies, and he started saying to himself, it's like, why does this always happen to me? And so I took a page from my business coach. One of the things that she's taught me is always look at the data over the drama. And so we looked at the data, and it turns out that in two of the three companies in which he was downsized, there were massive layoffs. He was not the only one. So the idea that this always happens to me wasn't accurate. Now, with the third job that he was downsized from, it was a small department, so it was just a couple of people. And so we unpacked that a little bit further, and what came up was that he had an intuitive hit that this was not the right company for him. And so, but he said yes anyway, because he had fear around scarcity. He had fear that he would not be able to get another job. He was afraid in terms of not having any income. So he overrode his intuition. And so the meaning that we were able to rewrite in terms of his job loss was that his intuition, it has good information, and to listen to that in the future. And in terms of how you're feeling really bad right now, Dennis, that yes, it's like look at the meaning, but I also want you to acknowledge that you have grief. And so the mourning that you need to do in terms of being able to be witnessed and validated in terms of your loss is so important. Both giving yourself permission to grieve, but also being able to share that experience with others who can validate that it really does suck and that there are many tentacles to the loss, because it's not always typically just about the loss of income or stability to your community. There's also sometimes a loss of trust and faith and belief. So my spidey sense tells me that that's what you're struggling with right now is like, will I be able to have the career that I want so badly, and how much you've invested in that? So my heart is with you, and thank you so much for sharing that question.